Our activity for today was our collage landscape, and we are working with different materials to create an image, okay? So once again, collage landscape. Oh, that one's upside down. Collage landscape, just thinking about different materials that we can work with, okay? So for today, what we're gonna be doing is just sketching out our first idea. So you're gonna just take a pencil and sketch on the big piece of paper what you'd like to do today, okay? So I'm gonna think about a beach scene for this one. And again, I'm using a bright red Sharpie, but you can use a pencil, that's okay. I just wanna make sure everyone can see what I'm doing, okay? So I'm going to think about, first things first, I'm gonna draw a horizon line straight across the paper, and that's gonna help us out understanding where the sky ends and the ground begins, okay? So for these collages that we're doing for landscapes, the horizon line helps divide the sky from the ground, okay? It also helps us feel like we can dive into the picture, okay? Then we're gonna think about what we might wanna do in the front, what we call the foreground, the area that's closest to us, and the area in the back, okay? So I've got our horizon line. For my beach scene, I'm gonna put water on one side, the beach on the other, and probably a nice big sun umbrella as well, okay? So I'm gonna sketch that out for us. So you can see in my really quick sketch, I was doing really simple shapes, working with lines and simple shapes today, okay? So again, this is gonna be water, this is gonna be the beach. I drew a sketch for a big beach umbrella. And again, this line here is the horizon line. It divides the sky from the ground to help us feel like we can dive into that picture, okay? So once you've done your sketching, then it's gonna be time for you to start collecting your materials. So remember, we're working with colored paper today, so any color works, doesn't matter what you're thinking about. I went through some of my magazines and I was just looking for big sections of color. So anything that you see that jumps out at you, this has got lots of great green. Maybe I'll use that for some trees in the background. So I'm gonna rip that out. And then thinking about the beach. Doesn't matter if it is actually the sand in the picture, but anything that's that beach sand color. So it's kind of yellows or browns or oranges sometimes. Even thinking about shells, we could be thinking about white or beige, okay? So I'm just ripping pages out and making piles by color, okay? So that will help us when we're ready to organize, okay? So I had a chance to sort through some magazines and I collected different pages and just grouped them by color. When you're starting to build, you wanna start from the back, moving closer to you, because you wanna have in the very far back, everything that's farthest away from us. So that's gonna be the sky. So I'm gonna look for some big pieces of blue and we're gonna start putting our sky together, okay? Now, I already collected a bunch of different pieces of blue, different blues. Here we go, navy blue, dark blue, whatever color sky you want. And you have two options. You can rip or tear, or you can use scissors. So I'm actually just gonna make it really quick and easy. I'm gonna start tearing, okay? And then I'm just gonna take my torn strips, and if there's letters or words, it's okay, it's a collage, right? And I'm gonna start building, you can see here, the layout along here. And what we're gonna end up doing is just layering lots of different pieces of blue to fill the whole space from the horizon line, okay? So again, I'm gonna take this, my piece, just tear it or rip it into a long strip, and I'm gonna start layering those all over here. So we get lots of different shades of blue. So remember, the sky's not always just one color, right? So let's think about what I might do here. Then, just taking your pieces, oh, that's the blue side, and you're just ripping or tearing them to get them ready to go, okay? Once you've torn enough, you're just gonna take your glue, and again, as we've done before, when you're working with the glue, a little bit goes a long way. White glue or the glue sticks, those are totally fine today, okay? So for today, I'm just putting some big strips of white glue here so that when I'm ready, I'm able to easily, you can see just big lops of glue, stick the different blue pieces of paper down, okay? So first we're starting farthest away from us. So for me, that's gonna be the sky in my scene, okay? And I'm just layering different pieces of paper to create some blue, different types of blue. And I'm just gonna keep ripping and sticking until that background area is covered. So you could be thinking about any type of landscape. It could be a park scene, it could be a scene in your home, in your backyard, it could be a scene in the playground. Anything that you can think of could be what we call a cityscape, right? So a cityscape is the buildings in our communities. So, started off, we've got our blue skies here in the background, okay? Some of this sticks out, that's where our scissors come in helpful. So again, using your scissors, sharpest part here in the middle, we're gonna cut really nicely and easily to trim this piece off so it's no longer hanging off the edge. So, for that first piece, we just picked a whole bunch of different blue pieces of paper or blue images from our magazines, ripped them into strips, and glued them down. Glue, okay? Next, we're gonna think about, for me, I'm gonna need to do some beige or yellow colors for sand, and then some more blue here, okay? So for the beach, I've got some different colors already ready to go. So there we go, we've got some beige. So I'm gonna start working with that. So, boom. From there, we've got our sky, we've got our beach scene, and I'm gonna add a little bit of water over here. So again, for this one, the water to me, it's gonna be blue, of course, but it's also gonna have little hints or glimmers of light in it, okay? Because when I go to the beach and I go to see things, sometimes I'm lucky enough that I can catch the sunlight. Maybe there's fish or things like that in there. So again, you're just doing nice big pieces of color to fill in, and then adding detail with different shades of blue. Same as before, if anything sticks out over the edges, you are so very welcome to trim. So I'm gonna do a quick trim on the edges here. I found some really colorful paper that I'm gonna use to make a nice big beach umbrella for myself and whoever happens to be on the beach with me. So I just thought this was really fun, don't you think? All this flower back here. So I'm gonna do a really big beach umbrella. Okay, and that's gonna go on last, friends, because it's actually, right, as I said, in the foreground. So if we put that here, and then we're gonna also work on the, maybe something to be the umbrella stand. So maybe I'll use a nice long piece of something that's gonna stand out. So maybe we'll use something that is black or maybe a different color so that it stands out. Perfect. Awesome. So now we can start seeing this is really coming to life, right? We've got our water, we've got our sand here, we've got our beach umbrella here as well. And what I'm gonna do to help our eye understand the picture is work on this part here in the middle where the land and water meets the sky. And I'm gonna do just some green hills. So just like I did on my landscape, there'll be some rolling hills in the distance, and that will help our eyes understand what's happening. So I'm just gonna take the paper and cut some nice big rolling hills in the background over here. There you go, friends. So there we go. We have our hills in the background. We've got our water here, our beach, and our beautiful umbrella to keep us nice and safe from the sun, okay? So once again, our landscape collages for today. The collage being our technique where we're working with ripped materials, paper, cut different shapes together, layered them one on top of another, and glued them down of a landscape or a scene that's out there in our communities, or something that we like to do with our friends and family, okay? Mums, dads, aunts, uncles, brothers, and sisters. So again, we've got our beach scene, and then from earlier today, we have our park scene as well. I hope everyone had fun with this one. Really looking forward to getting creative next week where we're gonna do some drawing for an imaginary creature. So get those imaginations ready for next week, okay? Take care. Thanks for getting creative with me.